Okay, I think now I'm going. I may have been, excuse me. I think we got it going there. Now you guys hear me? How about now? Excuse me there. Alrighty. I think it should be going now. Anyways, if you are tuning in here and you're wondering what's going on, this is my Friday night get together, which is streaming live on YouTube. All right, very good. And this is my second one, so I'm a little getting used to this, pressing the wrong buttons and everything. That's pretty sad since I'm a software engineer. But thanks so much, Lisa. I wanted to thank you for your questions and making note that a lot of people are sort of new to this whole thing. So I made that one video for you, but other people on the problems in mainstream science. I really never sat down. I just assume everybody knows those things. But I hope you got to take a look at that, and I was already inspirational, and I'm putting together hopefully a series of those videos where I'm going to talk about things that we talk about all the time that may not be known to people who are just starting out to become critical thinkers, science woke, whatever you want to call it. So that seems to be a great idea. We're putting together a website as well, and I hope to get people interested in this area who haven't really thought much about it. So, but I'm going to look around here, make sure I've got all this going correctly. I've got the broadcasting here. I think I don't need to be here, so I'm going to see if I can go to my the site and see more information. So again, I apologize. I'm just getting my bearings here while people are showing up, hopefully. And let me see here. I don't think I need to be. Oh, I see. Okay. I see people. All right. I think I can stay on this website. So I will watch your video series, Problems with Science. Not sure why I didn't get notified. Oh. Well, I hope you click on your little bell there. That'll absolutely notify you. But it's a good one, actually. I think it goes on a lot longer than I had expected. But I really spent some real time trying to describe, what's wrong with mainstream science. People don't know. I mean, Big Bang, relativity, particle physics, plate tectonics, quantum mechanics, black holes, the whole thing. It sounds pretty bad, but the truth of the matter is we're in a paradigm shift, I guess. And excuse me, can't get rid of this cold, and I'm in Florida. So yeah, take a look at that. That would be really good. What I thought I was going to talk about tonight, one of the things is as we're getting more people here. Yeah, it's starting to pick up a little bit. It takes a few minutes, but I was thinking to myself this evening. I was watching a movie and about people fighting against, making the world a better place. And this is a big fight, obviously. And there are times where I go through ups and downs, like, why am I doing this? It certainly isn't for fame. I certainly like to see this grow huge. And if it did, I've always say to people that I would be very happy about it because it means science would be going forward. It also, even if it became something that I could parlay, that it would give us more power to do more things. I don't look at it as any ego thing. Obviously, this is not the thing to do for that. But certainly, I do think we can go a lot bigger. I have again I'm putting together with our organization whole plan this year, and I think we're getting close to being able to take off. Right now, the problem is that if I turn on a faucet to get people in our direction, we're not quite ready for them. We have all the tools in place with our websites and everything, and if you want, you can come in and tune in tomorrow between 10 a.m. and noon. I will be doing, if you go to naturalphilosophy.org, naturalphilosophy.org, you're going to see there a video conference I'm going to have for the members. We have 300 active members. We have a database of we have a database of over 3,000, but we have another database of almost 6,000 dissident scientists around the world. Again, this isn't just like all amateurs. Our chief scientist is Dr. Cynthia Whitney. She got her degree from MIT in 1960 or 61. She's older. She's in her 70s. Brilliant mind. And her doctoral was in physics and relativity. And she is in an organization where we show relativity wrong. So, you know, there are really great people in the organization, all walks of life, of course. You don't have to be a physicist. I'm not a physicist, so. But so, you know, I was thinking today about how and why, you know, I spend the time doing this. I mean, even my daughter, who was younger, who grew up, I mean, she literally grew up in my documentary film. In fact, in my documentary film, Einstein Wrong, I have the birth of my daughter in there. So she's been a part of this whole thing for a long time. And now she starts to hear things. She's still getting a little older. She's starting to question, is her dad crazy? Her friends at school now, she's 12, 8th grade, start to question whether or not, in fact, it's, you know, dad is crazy. So, but I think it all comes down to the same thing where I gave a talk recently in one of my videos where a couple of people, Ken, I think he's a person that follows me quite a bit, watches the videos. He said, well, you know, Dave, you talk about the neutrino not existing, and I found in autodynamics, which is Dr. Karzani. It's just physicists who got me into all this in the early 1990s. And they found these blistering arguments. And I did the next day I did a whole video explaining how the blistering argument wasn't an argument at all, because people don't debate. Number one, people don't look at stuff. So if I say Einstein's wrong, people don't go out and look to try to find information about Einstein being wrong. Of course, our website has probably over 1,000 papers and books altogether on that subject. It's not always the best organized. That's one of the things we have to look at. But you know, that's one of the big problems is people they're lazy. They don't want to have to look into it. They want somebody else to come along where they somehow trust. And then, you know, if Neil deGrasse Tyson, who I do not have much affinity for, you know, says that Einstein's wrong, then maybe people would listen. No, well, you have to look at my go look up Dissident Science Einstein. I mean, Degrassi, Dissident Science Degrassi. It's one of my top 3 or 4 videos, and that guy is so arrogant. So, anyways, I am here to answer some questions if you guys have them. I do always have something I can talk about on my own, but I certainly think that we're on the right track. I'm making a website. I've got our whole organization is being organized through Basecamp. It's an online sort of project building, and we are really putting together a basis so that we can really start to turn on the faucet to get more people in our direction. We're working on a website, a new one called Science Woke, and I just started working on that one. And we have a committee of people that we just had a meeting on our websites. Really good. We're just thinking marketing. We've got enough technical stuff going on. We don't really have to hone that anymore. So we're looking to, you know, really put this together. And I think in the next year you're going to see an incredible amount of really good work that's going to be going on in our organization, and should bop over there and take a look. It's pretty good. And tomorrow I will be talking all about it, and you're going to see things you're not going to necessarily see here, because we're going to talk about it. But it's opened to the public. So, question: do you think that the volcanic and earthquake activity, which seems to be quite high, is due to the Earth expanding? That's a good question. The answer is yes. That's part of it. Dr. James Maxlow, I think was asked those questions before, and you know, excuse me. It's a good thing you can't catch colds. But you know, just to talk about this area of expansion tectonics. The evidence is so overwhelming. I mean, it's to the point now that if you read Dr. Maxlow's work, and he has expanding the Earth's at different stages, and he matches the flora and the fauna and the geology, and it all just fits. And when you ask him, so when I ask him about these kinds of things, of course, the activity that's going on underneath, what we say is that we have subduction going on and plates are crashing and those kinds of things. But one of the people also, he's an Italian guy. I cannot remember his name. Giancali. If you go to our website, or our wiki, and you click on expansion tectonics, if you go to our well, I think I should go here. I can do that. I've got it all set up so we can take a look at it. I've got to make sure it's the right size though. But if you go to our website, you can look at these things. I'm going to get to our natural philosophy, and I'm going to go to our topics, and then I'll show you the screen here. I've got it all sort of set up for that. But we have our science topics, and under that you're going to get expansion tectonics. And in our database, I tried to make it so that I'm going to make sure I get there before I have you guys flopping around here. No. I've got it smaller, and it's trying to. Okay, sorry about that. All right, let me get to here. The reason I'm talking about it is there's a guy in Italy who spends time working with companies, telling them about the geology of where to find oil, using the idea that there's expansion tectonics. And here I go. I think I'm going to be there. Yes, and we can probably find actually his name and stuff. I'm going to show you the screen here. There we go. So if you go to the database db.naturalphilosophy.org and go to topics, and then you click on expansion tectonics, you can see here, and then there's 107 scientists. You can also see over on this side there's 94 abstracts, there's 35 books, 107 scientists, 19 websites, and let's go to the scientists. I think you're going to find him, Giancani. We don't have pictures for everybody. Let's see, maybe about 4 in. I'm not sure our search is working super great. Where is he? I remember I don't have a really good picture of him, actually. But he is a person. I'm not being able to find him. We can see all these people here. There's James Maxlow, Williams. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Giancarlo Scelera. Whoa, boy, did I get that one wrong. So Giancarlo Scelera, he's a geologist, and the only picture I have of him was in this big picture, and this was way back when we were making the database. But let's see, 15 abstracts he has. And expanding a sound idea for the new millennium. But basically, he was looking at the answer to your question is, do earthquakes and those kinds of things, volcanoes, are they caused by expansion tectonics? Absolutely, the Earth's expanding. It's going to be part of it, but what I'm trying to say is that people are actually using expansion tectonics in real science, and then the companies, they don't care about where they or how they find the oil, as long as, oops, I'm showing you guys the my chat there, but they seem to be able to know a lot more about what's going on with plate tectonics than the average guys, because of the expansion tectonics. So but you know, it's just the real answer is that it doesn't happen a whole lot that we know about that, because there's not enough people looking at it. It's one of the things that, you know, there's all kinds of stuff that if we were to look for, I'll give you a really good one, and that is paleo gravity. I don't know if I came up with a word, but paleo gravity is something that is, what can we look for as geologists in ancient times to show that the field of gravity was less. And there's actually only one thing that I talk with. You can see my video with Stephen Hurl, and he wrote the book on, he got into expansion tectonics because of dinosaurs, because they couldn't, you know, this whole thing with Jurassic Park, if you were to actually be able to make dinosaurs, they'd all be big blobs laying on the ground, heaving for air and dying within probably minutes, not even hours. Well, why? Because they couldn't hold up in this gravitational field. He looks at, he found via somebody that you could look at sand dunes, and sand dunes have a steepness, and if they are steeper, if they become steeper, the slopes of sand dunes will be steeper when gravity is less. And that seems to be the case, that you can find the slope of sand dunes in ancient times and compare them to today and find out that the slopes are higher, and therefore you have some almost direct evidence of less of a gravitational field back then than now. So a lot of this stuff with plate tectonics and a lot of these things that we could find out, and we would have brilliant minds looking at these, they're not going to look at them because they've got plate tectonics shoved down their throat. You know, when I was doing my movie Einstein Wrong, it was amazing that one of my editors who really likes science, I said, you know, I think I may put expansion tectonics in my movie. No, don't. People think you're crazy. Have you even looked at it? Do you even know what it means? If you see Neil Adams' videos, you're going to be convinced pretty quickly about that. I don't know if I'm holding people here. Let's see. Oh, there's 8 people. I don't know how many people are live here, but let's see if I can get to take a look at that. But anyways, if you guys have any other questions, but if not, I can, you know, just talk. Again, I'm a little under the weather, so my enthusiasm isn't super high right now, but I will, let me see if I can go here and find out. It started 21 minutes ago already. Yeah. So see where we are, and there's a chat here. If I get a chat here, then maybe I can just use this one. Oh, 7 watching. That gives me a good idea. Okay. All right. Alrighty, there we go, and then I can see how it's going there. Alrighty, so let's keep going forward here. Okay, you have some. It says, it seems logical. My 91-year-old mother finds it to be interesting too, and doesn't understand why the mainstream world would be so upset over it. You know, it was funny because Lisa, when we were, I took my mom to interview a friend of Einstein's. He's gone now. I think he died in 2010 or 2011. But at the time, in 2005, he was 87 years old, and he went over to Einstein's house until he died. Actually, Einstein died at Princeton because he was a electrical engineer at the time. It's a wonderful story. Probably told it too many times. But regardless of it, my mom interviewed a person who knew Einstein, and one of the things we couldn't ask him because he was so worshipy of Einstein, we couldn't ask him was, do you think Einstein would be upset if people found his theory wrong? Well, we didn't ask Jack Rosenberg, Einstein's friend, because I knew he wouldn't like it. In fact, of course, after we did the interview, I never told him what the title was, and then I had to have him sign a release form. And when he signed, I sent him a release form in the mail. And he calls me up, David. Yeah, I said, yeah. This is Jack Rosenberg. I go, yeah. Hey, how's it going, Jack? He says, I got your letter in the mail for the release form. Is this the title to your film? He didn't even say it. He wouldn't even say it to me. I said, yeah, that's the title. Is that going to be the real? Is that the main thing? Yeah. He says, can I tear it up? So he's not in the film. Although I have his interview. I do have that interview. And I asked my mom, because I couldn't ask him. I asked my mom. The story is with a 91-year-old mom. I just asked her, do you think Einstein, if he were alive today, would accept that his stuff would be wrong? And she thinks he would. Now, she got to know a lot about him. We went on the journey for a lot of years, and we filmed a lot of places, talked to a lot of people. And she would be seems to be under the impression that he wouldn't be so taken aback even by, other, how do you say, other people finding out that he was wrong. And he was okay. Well, yeah. What's wrong, and how can we go forward? So, yeah. So it's hard to say. Well, most of it has to come with one of the things, Lisa, is what I call. It's something I coined, and I have some videos on that too. I talked a lot about in the beginning. It's what I call intellectuals versus critical thinkers. Intellectuals are people who, when they go to a party, they want to look smart. So they get out their book, or they've read the latest on Einstein, the latest thing, what? Oh, did you see Einstein's proven right again to even a higher degree? And they go, oh, no, I didn't see it. And then the people go on to start talking about it, and see who can know the latest of the latest stuff. And those people aren't interested in being critical thinkers. They're just interested in appearing to be smart. And there's a lot of people who want to be that way. I know with people who are the gatekeepers to the film festivals. I sent my film to 87 film festivals. And I almost got into one. I made the finalist at the Oxford Film Festival. And I had a person who was really wanting my film to get in, because I know why, because they like Newton way better than Einstein. But they were too afraid. Too many people said, how would this one guy know Einstein's wrong and the rest of the world wouldn't know it? Well, the truth of the matter is most every engineer who hears about special relativity, that mass increases when you get closer to the speed of light, that length contracts, that time slows down. Almost every engineer balks at it and thinks that's a joke. So the silent majority out there doesn't believe it. But the people who hold the keys to the kingdom do. And most of them are nerds who want to be loved and who want to, that's why it keeps going that way. So the people who get in MIT, they pretend, excuse me, they pretend to understand paradoxical problems, which are paradoxical. That's what paradox means. It can't be solved. They pretend to understand and totally agree upon particle physics and all the craziness of it, and quantum mechanics and all that stuff. And then they try to chide you, make you feel stupid, because they want you to, say, hey, what they know is what they know and you're wrong. So I think that's part of it. I'm going to go back here and make sure. Yes, an alternative researcher across the pond called Andrew Jackson interviewed a fellow, and dinos were brought up in terms of the spending Earth. Oh, nice. I didn't see that. If you have that, check it out. I'd like to do videos on positive things in the distant world. So that would be great, Lisa. I'm sorry, I'm behind here. Have you heard of the hollow earth theory, Greg? Yes, I have. The only thing I can say is I don't see a whole lot of evidence for it. everybody's right to it. And if you were to write a hollow Earth paper and want to present it and put it in our proceedings, you would absolutely be welcome to do that. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying that you do or you don't, and I'm not chiding anybody who doesn't. But in my own opinion, the evidence, when I first saw that, I did look at it. The evidence, the hard evidence is the when we have soundings that go way deep in the Earth and they bounce back. We're not seeing that. The Earth's mass, we don't see that. There's a lot of things that just don't point to a hollow Earth. The other problem that I see is that if well, we know oil is not squished dinosaurs. So this whole thing, when you hear fossil fuel, is really, it's not fossil fuel. I mean, how can we keep pumping it out of the ground? There's more and more. I mean, all that stuff's from dinosaurs, and it gets down almost, what, now they're going down as far as 10, 15,000 feet. So oil's being manufactured, methane's being manufactured, water is. It's piping up through those black smokers in the sea. So in my opinion, everything points to that the Earth's core is pretty hot, and that part of it is because is the mass increase, that kind of thing that's going on. So, and heavier atoms are manufactured in the sun. That's what at least even mainstream says. And if the Earth, the Earth is expanding and it's gaining mass, the evidence points to that, then I would say hollow Earth, it looks unlikely to me, but until we have really good super evidence for that, everything's, I've learned not to say never, but in my opinion, I think it's a small chance that that's true. See, to me, it sounds logical. I have a question, but I feel free to script if it's too philosophical or mathematical. Why does there appear to be 3 dimensions of space instead of any other finite or infinite value? That's a good question, and I think the answer is the answer that I would give you is that the universe has 3 dimensions, and explaining why that is, I'm not sure is possible, but what we can say is there aren't 4, and there aren't 2, and there aren't 5, and there aren't 11. All those things seem to be crazy. So there's just certain things that, I think it's probably just because of the nature of what we would call physicality in three dimensions, what we call the 3-dimensional world. But I think the idea of, well, let's face it, X, Y, and Z don't exist in the universe. We make it up. We're the ones. We're the ones who put things and measure things that way. So that's what we see. That's what we experience. And I think the problem of the question, I think the better answer that maybe I'm trying to get at is the question of dimensionalities of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Well, we see 3. We know that to be in this universe that we can have, for instance, 2 things that are very similar to each other existing at the same time, but they're in different places. And that seems to be described, easily described as a dimension of 3 measurements to, the measurement between things. So I would say that the question is an artificial question because we have the use of language. We have the way to say dimension. We have a number to it. Because we have a numbering system, then therefore we can say 4 or 5 because it's a system. We're using language, we're using math, they're systems, and therefore, well, where is that? And the whole thing comes down to the old Venn diagram where here's all the universe, and then here's here's math, and this math, and then here's the universe inside of math, meaning all math doesn't describe what's in the universe. So my answer to your question is that the question of dimensions more than 3 are artificial because of our mathematical and numbering system. So. All right. Excuse me, Dave. Do you have any more free keys to your movie? Yeah, absolutely, I do. I will tell you a secret. I turned on some more. If you go back and look for my video for 500 subscribers, well, I'm over 2,000 now, but there are still some left because I had put, I think, 50 down and they were all taken. So I have put some more there because I do have people. And, you know, I do actually, once in a while, if you want to, if you are a person that really sees yourself showing the movie to other people, if you email me at david@dissidentscience.com, I can even get you, I can give you a free copy, meaning you could show it to other people and you can just see that. Of course, the only way you can see it would be they'd have to log into your Vimeo account. So it's not like I'm going to give you something that you can give to everybody. And I'm not doing it because I want to make money off of it. Of course, I wanted to get my investors. The investment into that movie was over $150,000. But Vimeo, the paying for it is it just pays for itself to keep it in Vimeo so that, you know, people can watch it. So, you know, it makes a couple $100 a year, which pays for just the maintenance of it. And I think someday, if all this comes to fruition, that will be one of those movies that you're going to say, you know, it was never accepted in the film festivals and it was rejected. It's going to be a big, you know, and then maybe then people will start watching it more. But thousands of people have watched it. But yeah, I will absolutely get that available. So send me an email. You can go to the 500 one and get that code there and follow directions. I think I upped that. Or send me an email and say, Dave, I want to show it to other people. I want to sit and, you know, get them interested in this stuff. Maybe I can give you a free copy. It's through your Vimeo account. Oh, there's one. Let's see, let's keep going. Okay, so Greg, yes, you can. I'm inclined to think that exact middle of the Earth has no G direction. Maybe it's 0G. Yeah. You see, it depends on your models of the universe. Gravity, we know it at our level of gravity because you know, my dad and I's model have gravity at all levels. It's just, you know, what keeps particles around the atom going is a gravity a level down. But yeah, I mean, you have to have a model for it. If you have a model for it, you can explain it. My dad and I have a model for it, so we could, you know, look into and explain it. That's the big answer. The answer is get a model. Mainstream doesn't have one. They have a rubber sheet, fabric, not fabric, space-time imaginary thingy. Okay. Question, let's see. Question, did you ever look into Ken Wheeler's work on magnetism or field theory? I haven't. I've probably been pointed to things, but I'm a busy guy, so you know, I can take a look at that. It's something, you know, send me an email again, Dave@dissidentscience.com or Dave@thehilster.com or something, and I'll take a look at it. I can email you the vid of the Jen from across the park. That would be great, Lisa. I'd love that. I'd love that. Anything that has to do with expansion tectonics, I actually brought it up. I know some people have tried to, at least when Stephen Hawking was around, to try to bring up things like Einstein wrong and those kinds of things to him. It's been not very successful. Oh, okay. So Pyro314. Why was Draft Science kicked out? Because he was absolutely disrespectful to our members, our founder, and the history of our organization. Had nothing to do with his arguments at all. None. I can show you that if you want. I won't do it because it's really degrading. But basically, during my lecture on Saturday Live, he was doing a parallel CMPS makeup. He said he wanted to do the field, and he said, "Oh, David's talking about some dead guys that don't matter." Talking about people that were, oh, he's reading something from some old guy that has nothing to do with physics. And, oh, and then he's talking about them and the Tin Hatters. That's what he said during live. You can go to Draft Science, go to CMPS. You will find areas there where he completely disrespects, and that's one thing we do not tolerate. We have no problem with somebody coming in making arguments of any kind as long as they're logical. We don't allow conspiracies. We don't allow UFOs. We don't allow religious things. We don't allow political things. What we do is science. And so he had nothing to do with it. Unfortunately, the person, Franklin Hugh, who's in charge of it, gave a wrong impression along with Pal. I know Palacija. I love those guys dearly. They're my friends. But they did give everybody a bad impression. They were not kicked. He was not kicked out at all because of the way he was talking. In fact, one of the problems I think is that he came into a group that was sort of stuck. It wasn't going, the same people were there. So he came in and he was stimulating conversation. They didn't want to lose that. But you can't have that at the cost of somebody who immediately goes off and calls you all tin head, that all the people who's founded our organization, like, geez, who's this John Chappelle guy? I mean, it was completely, uncalled for. So I actually made a little video of what he said. I put it on Basecamp, and then Basecamp is we're starting to use that. We pay for that. We're going to pay for that. It's a really good system. I had all the directors who could, because we have a directorate. I think we have 7 or 9 people. I can't remember. An odd number. And all we need is a majority. And I put that down. I said, in my opinion, this person shouldn't be part of our organization or be allowed to be, because it's completely disrespectful. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, I've been around this organization since 1996, 2 years into it. So it's been over 20 years. I've never seen anybody say those kinds of things about us. So that's why. I hope that makes sense. Let's see, why did drop K? This is fun, and I'm taking notes madly. Well, Lisa, I really appreciate it. And I will tell you, Lisa, we're putting together some things that are fantastic. And if you come tomorrow, let's say you can't come live, we do record them, and then you can watch them from the CMPS's website, the John Chappelle, the organization that we have. And you're going to see some fantastic things. We're going to have a university. We're going to take courses on an overview of dissident science. We're going to have all kinds of people putting those things together, courses. We're going to have a website, which I'm going to show you a little bit about here if you guys stay around. So stay around. I'm going to show you a little about our new website called sciencewoke.org. Go there. You won't see anything because I have a block to it. You can't get to it. But obviously the egg came first. Reptiles have it. Vimeo, the promotion is no longer valid. Please contact the creator for help. Okay. Then I will work on it. Greg, send me an email. I will definitely, anybody here who wants to see it, let me know, and I will send you a coupon to see it. What you do is you can, usually I give it for rent, but if you say, Dave, I'm going to have other people watch it, I'll give you a free purchase of it, which is a $10 coupon. You go in there and you act like you're going to buy it, and then right before you buy it, you can put the coupon in, and it goes to 0, and then you can watch it. So absolutely no problem. Draft Guy is an extra cranky crackpot. I went to see him live, and yeah, that's unfortunate. It's too bad because he could be really great, but his mouth gets in the way. I mean, we had another person who swears a lot, like a Scelera, but he's a really great guy, a lot of fun guy, and that's Neil Adams. Neil Adams, the guy who does, look up Neil Adams, Expanding Earth. If you have not watched Neil Adams videos, you should be banned. I'm going to ban you guys. No, it's great. He swears a little bit because he's from New York, and he also is an extremely famous guy in comic books. But I love him dearly. We get into it now and then, and I had him actually write a paper. He never wrote a paper for our group, so I had him write a paper. But he swears, but he's not disrespectful in any way. In his video talk was telling me I should die. Wow, yeah, that's good. Sounds like fun. Good. All right. So I've ripped through them all. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep going here to keep you guys going. I don't see how many people we have here. Let's see. I don't know how to do this very well. Oh, we have 9 watching. Well, I appreciate everybody being here. So we're going to take a look at something. Let's take a look at something first, which is I like to go through, and I want to give you the perspective I have the way I see it. And I think this is a really good exercise. So one of my favorite places to go here, I'm going to adjust here, is the Einstein Facebook page, which is holding at 19 million, which is very curious because I keep saying that, but they don't seem to be growing. I think they found the Einstein worshippers. They've hit maximum velocity, maximum capacity, I think. But I'm going to just go through here and show you some of the problems that we're up against. I mean, first of all, I don't think the person who did Albert Einstein, they just went in and they made his name and they put him as a public figure. And they actually made money off of it when they had Nova's Genius series or something like that. I think they got a lot of advertising dollars for them to use this website. But let's go down and look at this. I mean, you know, the comic, talking about him in the comics. He's a pop culture figure, guys and gals. I mean, this is obvious. You know, we always just think of it, oh, that's cool. I think the problem here is the sell here is like, well, oh, you see, he's a cool scientist. Like, they'll put him in comics. You know, he's that patent clerk that became a genius kind of guy. And that's sort of the idea. Whereas I see it is it's worship. It's just worship in a different way. They have the Art Science Fridays. I put my art in there. I never got picked. I'll show you. I am an artist, folks. If you don't believe me, I really am. Go to daviddhilster.com. It's probably my best natural talent. All the rest of the things I had to work at. It says, can we solve the mystery of dark energy? And while I was waiting to come in here, here's David Hilster talking. Dark energy does not exist. We are chasing ghosts. If you don't treat galaxies as point masses and see that their gravitational field is not uniform, then you can simply use Newton to explain the star speeds at the edge of the galaxies. You don't need not only do you not need dark matter, Newton describes everything perfectly well. We have a couple papers on that on our website. So this gives you an idea. Yeah, I go in here. I get people toward me, and they actually, a lot of people will actually give me likes, or they'll laugh at me, or you know, whatever. Here's an interesting one. This goes to show you that the person doing this page doesn't really know even much about Einstein. Because if you look at Michelson here, I think this is Michelson, his name, Michelson, yeah. Michelson in this picture, if you know any of the history of this, he derides Einstein like crazy at this meeting. He just says, we've created a monster, meaning that the Michelson-Morley did an experiment in the 1880s that became very famous in physics. It's taught in every physics class on the planet. And that was supposedly to show that ether, that is light waves going through an ether, like sound goes through air, light goes through what they call an ether, super small particles. They couldn't find it, therefore it doesn't exist. And then Einstein tells the whole world why not. There's a huge amount of problem with that argument, both technically, mathematically, physically, philosophically, all those things. But here's the guy's just saying, oh, here it is, Throwback Thursday. And then he throws up but he never mentions, oh, this guy didn't like this guy until he died. He went to, there was a lot of people during Einstein's didn't buy all that mumbo jumbo. They were right, in my opinion. So it goes to show you, you know, this is the kind of backstory that these people don't know. It shows you that these things are, the most important thing is not the science, but the genius, the image. I'm going to keep going through. There's some interesting stuff here. Let me see if I have any questions here. I love Neil Adams. Shows expanding universe. That's a funny guy too. Yep, he is. I learned a long time. A long time. 22 gurus. Yep, absolutely. So I'm going to go back here. You can see me looking at the stuff too. I guess that's okay. Anyways, let's go to the next one here. Van Gogh, Einstein, and CO, whoever the heck it is, prove all geniuses have a hot streak. What's this have to do with, you know, is he a genius? Is this going to, here's a big question. 100 years from now, is this going to be even relevant? Anybody going to care about this? My guess is not. So this is whoever got lucky to be the first person to enter Albert Einstein as a person and then be in charge of it as an admin is what we call cyber squatting on it. And cyber squatting, because they get lots of eyeballs and they can make a little bit of money. It's their little claim to fame before they die, I guess. I did a video on this, so take a look at the video again. A new study proves Einstein right. The high velocity, high energy neutrinos. I did 2 videos on this, so you don't need to see. I don't need to talk too much about it. And of course, here's again emojis talking about his quotes. Fame. There's one thing more down here that's interesting. Emoji Day. That's what it here is. Oh, here's an interesting one. Einstein was the first chairman of the Hebrew University. In fact, the Hebrew University until 2010, don't quote me on that, owned the rights to Einstein's image and his theories. And in the movie AI by Spielberg, if you go back, it's an older movie. Well, not older. I'm older. It's not a recent movie. He paid the university $600,000 to use Einstein's image for 3 seconds. Of course, Spielberg's Jewish, I believe, and he wanted to make a donation. I think that was part of it. But they were making about as much as $10 million a year on the use of his genius. Making money. Money, 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 money. Do they care about his theory? Not really. This is something stupid and mentalist. Again, it's just weird. This is all stuff. Can pretending to Einstein make you smarter? I mean, okay, here's one. Here's the one I wanted to show you. Is it this one? I made one. Oh, I made a picture. I didn't show it to you here, but I think it's coming up. This is a great picture. This was when I saw this, I was looking at this just before this chat here. It was something that, oops, sorry about that. I'm all messed up here. I'm just getting this out of the way. But it was something that I saw, and it was a real nostalgia for me because I'd never seen the stairway. This is the stairway that Rosenberg went up when he first met Einstein, and he was taking Einstein. That was the story that I heard from, in fact, Einstein's friend. So when I saw this picture here, I thought, oh my gosh, this is great. There's it's just like he said, the door's there. He went up the door. I think it's probably his assistant there standing on the stairways, because I don't think he was married. He had an assistant there. And I thought, oh, that's really cool. I know about all that. I talked to the guy. There it is, seeing Einstein being more intelligent himself. Up there's the university. Albert was one of the founders of that university. Here we go. Okay, alrighty. So this is David D. Hilster, and I put in my art for the day, but actually it's not for the art for the day. This is different, but I put in these things. Let's see if we can click on this and get to it. Here we go. It says, and this is my, I have this cartoon series I've made that I put out once in a while, and that's a picture I drew of him using an iPad Pro, which I really like the iPad. I've drawn in pencil and ink and painting and all that, but I make this thing I call truth serum. If scientists told us what they really think, and I have Einstein there. I've actually sent this Einstein picture in, which is, I think, quite good. Excuse me. But maybe because what I say, I never get chosen as the fan art Friday for Einstein. But I like this saying I made. And this would be Einstein today saying this. It's quite embarrassing how many people treat me as a god and not simply as a human being I was. It's downright mad. I've got another one actually too. I'll show it another time. But anyways, that's what I wanted to show you on the Einstein stuff. Let me see if we have some more chat here, if anybody has any more questions. Yeah, my mom's right. Yeah. So, Again, if you do have any questions, let me know. Send me my email, an email to me, folks, and I will certainly get you ability to see the movie, my movie. It's actually quite good. It gets really high ratings for people who don't like science, or are not even science people. It's a great story. I had really great editors. It's a great human story in there. Okay, so who do we have left? How many people do we have here now? 7 total views. I don't know how many people we have alive here right now. You know what I should do? Use my telephone. That's what I'll do, and then I'll do it that way. But anyway, so I'm going to show you one more thing. We are at almost 1 hour here, and let me go here. I apologize again. I'm going to my channel here. Going to see it, and I'm going to show you one more thing that I want to show you. I'm going to come back, and oh, there it is. It says live there. Okay, now I'm going to hear myself, and it's going to get really nasty unless I get rid of it. Okay, all right, 9 viewing. Oh, that's really great. Well, thank you so much, people. You know, that's a pretty good number for, you know, a couple thousand viewers. You get a small percentage, but I appreciate you guys being around. So I am going to show you something I promised to show you. Let me get back the chat too, so I can see the live chat. It's smaller, but I can see it there. David, I have a theoretical model we'd love to discuss with you. I'd love to discuss with you. Okay. Well, actually, one of the things you can think about is, it's Greg, right? Is to present your model on our Saturday morning videos to the entire group. That's what it's for. I think that's what you should do. Instead of talking to me about it, present it. And we're looking to do that, actually. That's coming up tomorrow. But obviously not tomorrow you're going to do it, but you can set up a time, because we're going to start lining up talks like we used to do, so that we'll know way ahead of time who's going to be talking and all that. So absolutely, we'll talk with you. We'd love to have you present, get people to know your stuff. The way I tell people all the time is there are numerous theories out there, very good ones, and the only way it works is a two-way street. You know, if we have lots of people who try to come here and just say, this is it, this is the answer, either like it or leave it, I don't care about anybody else's ideas or even other models, and that doesn't work, because what happens is I'll look at your model, I'll look at your model for sure. If it's got great ideas, and I'll steal every one I can. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because the way science goes forward, or anything goes forward, is you take good ideas and you make them better. So you know, the best thing to do, I tell people, and this is just what I've learned from many, many years doing this with people with their own ideas and theories, is that you should get with other people who are doing the same thing, because you'll find out the problems with your own. You'll find people that maybe will work with you and develop your own the theory even further with yourself. So absolutely, love to do that. So absolutely invited. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you something here. Oh, I can look at it first. All right, here is a peek at, this is not, I'm going to tell you, there's 2 things that I have. I have one thing to turn on a faucet, which I think could get millions of people our way. Yes, I mean, I really think so. It's a Patreon project. It's not a small project. I did a documentary. It has to do in that area of creativity. It's not a live film or documentary. It's something actually different. And the reason I don't do that is because we're not ready for that many people. But because we're not ready, we're trying to get ready. And we have a lot of websites. And this is our latest. I mean, this is like hot off the presses. I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. I'm going to show you right now. And this is it. It's sciencewoke.org or sciencework.com. I actually registered. I can't believe it. No one had those. So we got those registered. I already made the, you know, again, being an artist, that's good. Be assigned as an artist, I can do all this. Got a pretty cool logo. Now, this is something from our Critical Thinkers website. So I've not rebranded it. We had criticalthinkers.info, and Science Woke is a way better. We talked about it. We have a meeting well over an hour of some really good marketing people. One guy from New Zealand, Jeff Yee, who's really got a great theory out there as well. And we all talked about it, and we agreed that Science Woke was really good. And it really came from I believe, Lisa, I'm going to have to blame you on that, because I am a politically woke, I'm a progressive, and again, I don't care what your politics are. Me, particularly, I was woke by, when I saw Bernie Sanders yelling at the TV, what's that all about? And I started realizing income inequality and all that stuff, and I'm on a diet, a whole plant-based diet. I look pretty good. I'm almost 60 years old. I reversed my heart disease, so health-wise I'm woke, ecologically, all that kind of stuff. I'm not here to be a new age or anything, folks. That's not what I'm saying. But the whole idea of the Science Woke came from, like, Lisa, you were the one who said to me, and it was very inspiring. You said, I've been woke in a lot of different ways, or I knew people are pulling the wool over our eyes in a lot of different areas. How about big science? And then I thought, Science Woke, and there we are. So here it is. It says, we are a group of scientific critical thinkers from around the world who are helping others become Science Woke. And this website is maintained, sponsored, blah, 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 blah. I'm not giving you a whole lot because we're just starting to do it, but I will share you this one, which is how to become Science Woke. So if you go to the main web page, there's a lot of different things that we're going to have here, like become Science Woke. Universities are failing at science and education. There's a person holding up a sign, I can't challenge Einstein. Verizon's engine for scientific progress. I also have another one that I don't have here, which is the CMPS. It's the best scientific organization in the world, and it certainly is. Why? Because we allow people to criticize anything if it's scientific and it's based on stuff. So if people come here, this is the only things I've worked on is the logo, and the other stuff, well, there's a lot of other stuff from it. But you can see here, through our conversations, we came up with this whole sort of selling idea. And this website, I'll show you some other things that is just really cool. The idea is you don't have any idea what Science Woke's about. It's basic. Our objectives is to make you Science Woke. Our community are critical thinkers, and our home is in natural philosophy. And I talk about being Science Woke. It's being a critical thinker, recognizing mainstream has major problems, and understanding those problems, recognizing studying theories, joining in the process, and all that kind of stuff. This will probably change. And then I have some of the memes I made a while back sort of thrown in there, and this is really great saying. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Very wise. A couple thousand years old. And if you go to our website and you look under natural philosophy, we have lots of memes. In fact, I can go show you those later on. But it says critical thinkers are people engaged in following behavior, investigate all claims themselves to make their own educated decision, and not read articles about how autodynamics and neutrino do exist and how crazy ADE people are without ever studying what Karazani says. That was one of my videos I just did. Read someone's proposals, theories without import of social or scientific position of the author, and read what is said. That's what happens in our group all the time. You get in front of us, Greg, right? Greg, you get in front of us and talk to it. I don't care if you have 3 PhDs from the University of Oxford or MIT or the Einstein Institute itself. We don't care. We're going to listen to what you say, and we're going to tell you if we like it or not. We don't care. Titles mean nothing. So never let pressure of others influence one's decision as to what is viable, etc., etc., etc. And then the mainstream flaws, which I talk about here. And this is a nice quote from Galilei. In questions of science, the authority of 1,000 is not worth the humble reasoning of a single individual. And so here are the areas that have problems, and of course we'll have links to them because we're going to be talking. I'm going to be making things for that. New models and theories. This is Richard Feynman. These are all very famous people. Richard Feynman was a great guy in a lot of sense because he was one of the shoots from the hip, straight shooter guys. Often would say things that mainstream wouldn't like. We are trying to prove ourselves wrong as quickly as possible because it's the only way we can find progress. Problem is, right now, we are in a paradigm shift. What do I mean by that? Is that the problems are huge. These are not like tweaks anymore. We got to throw away. This is the kind of thing like, you know, the Earth in the center of the solar system doesn't work as well as if we put it or going around the sun. It makes it a lot simpler. Same kind of thing. So being science woke, it says here that there are thousands of scientists and engineers who identified the problems. You've heard this from my channel. And then natural philosophy. And then it talks about, you know, the websites and you can be science woke. So this is the whole idea. I'm going to show you some things. I'm going to show this again tomorrow. But since you guys are here, and I appreciate that, mainstream flaws. Now, these are not good. I would not say these are the best. Black holes, plate tectonics, special relativity, Bernoulli effect, Big Bang. So this was what people would see, and they would see it on their phone. They can mouse over it, and then they can go in here and then click on, for instance, plate tectonics. Plate tectonics is coming under increasing challenge. And then here you have flaws in mainstream science, plate tectonics. Severity, fatal, mind blown. Plate tectonics is coming under the increasing challenge by alternative theories that have mounting evidence. It's not very good, okay? I'm not claiming this is done, okay? In fact, we need help. That's why we're getting committees. I only put the things together, and here's one. Pole plot fits perfectly onto an expanding Earth. And so people will be able to click on it. It'll be better than this. I'll show you one for scientists, which I think are a little bit better. Scientists. Let's go to those. And I'm going to show you this. This is the marketing we're looking to do to the mainstream of people. So you're going to go like this. Oh, who are these guys? Cynthia, Whitney. So you're going to click on that. I've got it smaller so you can't see everything. But here is much more marketing. Here it is. Scientist profile. Dr. Cynthia Whitney. We always have a mind-blown thing. Female with a PhD from MIT in physics and relativity who is now a critic of relativity. That's pretty mind-blowing. You know, profession, physicist, editor of Galileo, blah, 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 blah. Education, PhD in mathematical physics and relativity from MIT. Here she is. Wonderful lady. She's in Massachusetts, but she doesn't reside in Arlington. She moved after 50 years. She's moved to the West Coast in Oregon. Favorite science, Maxwell. Aha moment. Did a finite speed of gravity propagation cause the spiral pattern of galaxies to develop? Wow. I mean, you never hear that. I mean, let me, as a critical thinker, look at this. Finite speed of gravity. My dad and I talk about, actually my dad talks a lot about that actually the moon's eclipse, the full eclipses, show us that light and gravity reach the Earth at the same time. Ooh. So here we go. I'm going to read this a little bit to you. It says, okay, so you're a high school student who just took an adjunct course in physics from MIT and you fell in love with science. In the early 1960s, though, you are female. It's the early 1960s, though, and you are female. So what do? You fill out your application to MIT and neglect to apply to any other school, being very smart, but she is. You get accepted, and since you have no other options, your parents have to let you go to MIT because they didn't want her to go to MIT. That should be in there. 3 degrees later, including a PhD in the thesis in special relativity mathematics, Dr. Whitney kept going forward, challenging Einstein and others until she became an editor of her own physics journal, Galilean Electrodynamics. Today, she is chief scientist for a premier scientific group of critical thinkers in the world, and then shows, boy, you can tell this isn't done. I wrote these real fast. I had to write all the software to do this. This is WordPress. I had to, and then I incorporate in our beta database. So here you can see, here. Okay. Anyways, this is a real good example of how we want to. What do you think about this, Lisa? Are you still there? Do you think that this is going to be cool? I'm looking at the chat here. This is the kind of things that we're going to be doing, and so you can read more about it. You can see her profile on the oh, that's interesting. I'm trying to follow this site. Okay. Oh, it's Science Woke. I did a database change, and that's wrong. Anyways, yeah, you can go to her, Cynthia Whitney, and she has her curriculum vitae, the whole thing. It's like our Wikipedia. Galilean Electrodynamics. There's 2 books. Proceedings that she has, and here are 54 of her abstracts that she has written. What's wrong with the standard relativistic fields, blah blah blah. A lot of very technical, but you can see. So this is the idea. The whole idea is to have people come to this website, and they're going to be able to see new theories. Here we go. Let's click on this. Oh, there's new theories. I don't have them all here. I just have a few. The particle model. Okay, we'll look at that. These idiots. Oh, these 80 idiots. I'm making a joke, folks. Premise. Everything in the universe is physical and is Newtonian. Mind blown. Light, gravity, electricity, magnetic fields are all the same particle. That's our theory, you know. Newtonian. Authors Bob DeHills and Dave DeHills. For the first time in scientific model, everything in the universe is described mechanically. Anyways, that's the idea. You're going to be able to go look in every different models, and then there'll be clicks on this and stuff. So if I spread this out a little bit more, I think we can maybe see. There we go. You can see up here. Start here, mainstream flaws, scientists, new theories, that kind of stuff. And up here you see the main website, our forums, our Wikipedia, our online university, and our YouTube channels. So the whole thing is that you come in here and, you know, we're going to have controversial things like the CMPS is the best scientific organization in the world, which it is. I actually have that one. I think it's in the blog. Let's see here. I'm showing you things you shouldn't be seeing, but I'm going to show you anyways. Ah, thought I had it here. Oh, maybe I have taken it offline. Yeah. Okay, I probably took it offline because I just being careful there. Anyways, that gives you an idea of what we're trying to put together, and the idea is that we are going to funnel people into this, and they're going to be able to click around, and it's going to be much more organized, much well thought out. So if you've never heard of what scientific, you know, what we're doing, what this channel is about, that you'll be able to click and say, oh, mainstream's wrong, and click on a bunch of things and go through them and say, oh, I didn't know this, and they'll be very well explained. Big Bang, for instance, simple. It's based on redshift. Well, we're going to say, guess what? Redshift can be a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be something moving. In fact, they found, I think I just read an article today, that the redshift is going loony on us. And now they're having to make dark matter, which doesn't exist, into something even more bizarre. So, anyways, let's see. Do we have any more questions? Yep, I can say it's time for everybody. David says, I have a theoretical model. I'd love to show you. So we did. Okay, cool. We did that. Glad I didn't go to bed. Laugh out loud. The woke deal seems to be spreading. Glad I inspired you. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm reading here on my phone. That way I'm on a computer as well. Well, I can go there now. Anyways, let's see. Anybody else here? Lisa, Richard Feynman read his book. Yeah, he's pretty good. Read his books. Yep. And Greg, I love the ideas that MPA stands for. Yep, MPA, CMPS, whatever it is, we are called. Used to be called the MPA for sure. So, do we have any more questions, anyone, before I head off here? Good. I think I've gotten to the bottom here. People I don't know. I guess I can't see. They don't show you every participant. So do I have that? Oh, okay. Well, there are people watching, but those are the participants in the chat, I guess. So if you have any questions, and you, I've been talking a little bit about Albert Einstein, going through the website there, his website, his Facebook page. I see there are 10 people watching still. If you gotta go, of course, go, no problem. And any more questions, I will entertain. Can you stop being interesting? You know, I'm going to tell you another story. Go to bed. Go to bed. Maybe I'll make it easier. I'll make it earlier. You know, I can make this earlier. There's no reason that it has to be 9 o'clock. So, anyways, thank you, Greg. And do send me an email. Any of you watching right now, if you want to watch my movie, I will send me an email. I will even say it here. Send it to david@dissidentscience.com. Or you can even send it to david@thehilster.com. So either one, send me it and say, hey, I was on your Q&A live session, and I haven't seen your movie, and I'd love to see it. It's a great movie. It's actually very entertaining. You can watch it with your friends who don't care about science. It has got great music. One of the number one things I hear about that movie is a friend of mine who's a composer, all original music. And we have a music video. We're the only scientific documentary to ever have a music video. And I'll tell you, the music video is us kidnapping, my family kidnapping Stephen Hawking. You gotta watch it. I tell you, it's pretty interesting. Email already sent. All right, very good. Others have questions, and I'm going to ramble on, but you know, with supposedly 10 people watching, I will entertain any other questions. I mean, I can continue to talk. I always can do that. It is 1 hour and 15 minutes in. People watch this, I guess. I mean, that's pretty good. What else? For those who just joined, tomorrow I will be holding a members meeting, which is open to the public for the CMPS, which was the MPA. And I will be talking about many of the things we talked about today. Oh, and I do want to encourage all of you, if you like this, to get your feet wet and start working. We have a working with us. We have a new program called Base Camp. And Base Camp, I will talk about tomorrow. So if you can, and if you can't come tomorrow at 10 a.m. to 12 to noon Eastern Time, Saturday, you'll be able to watch it. But I invite all of you to help out. We have the Base Camp allows us to form teams, to have discussions, and to do to-do lists that are all alerted by email, but it organized on the website on Base Camp, which makes organization and doing things very good. And what's good about it is you get to it when you have the time. So if I've got time now, let me see what's happening at Base Camp. Oh, Dave made this comment, and hey, I'm going to give him my opinion on that. Or Dave is asking his opinion about this. Or we're needing somebody to help with this. Are you interested? Because we have all these websites. You could be, helping out in the sense of what do we put there? And you can even learn about them. If you want to learn about this and have an hour or two a month, even if it's only an hour or two a month, we have the ability with the Base Camp for you to help out whenever you can. And the more we work on, I've got the structure, I've got everything there, but we have to build it. So I've got the blueprints, I've got the examples, you saw some of them, I've got the software for it, so you can do it from anywhere in the world. And the idea is to make science woke a thing, and that people can be science woke by clicking around, get interested, and hopefully, Lisa, we can get people to be interested the way you're interested about what we're talking. Adam's there. Great film. There you go. I had the song stuck in my head for ages. Isn't that true? Oh my gosh. I wonder if I can even play that. I wonder if I can do that. I'll have to see here. But it's a really great, I think if I just do an audio input from the computer, I should be able to do that. But the theme song is quite good. I mean, it is catchy as heck. In fact, I've got another crazy idea of a musical called Einstein Wrong, and it is a Greek tragedy, and it has spins in it you won't believe. And I want to line up Michael Ruggieri to do this, to do the music for it, because my daughter is 12 and she is a very talented actress, just starting out. She hasn't done anything famous yet, but maybe someday going toward Broadway. And I'm going to be ready for her with a musical. And the music sticks in your head. Let's see what else here. Greg Stewart. I remash music for fun. What type of music do you like? Well, take a listen. If you go to the website, wait a minute. I think I can do this. Let's see here. If I go to, let's see, Einstein Wrong. If you go to my website, Einstein Wrong, I actually have, I think, soundtrack there. Since I paid for it, it's mine. I can do that. let's see here. There it is. Okay, so I can go to cast, story, poster, musicians, credits, blogs, photo, music video. Oh, music video. About. Where's the music? I'm looking for it. Sorry about that. It's around here. Music, cast, musicians. I have the musicians from it. Yeah, there. Well, where are featured scientists, credits, blog, reviews, hello, music video. Oh, those are, no. Soundtrack. Watch now, soundtrack. What a stupid place for that. Who made this website? Me? What an idiot. Okay, I'm going to show this to you here. And if I can get it over a little bit more, and then I think if I can add audience. So if you go to my Einstein wrong, there's my composer and his daughter, no, actually his stepdaughter. And they did a demo for me, and I heard her singing, and I thought, oh, that's nice. She sings pretty well. And then I really listened to her, and I fell in love with her voice. And it turns out that I asked to keep her and do the main singing for the soundtrack. And there was 2 songs. One was the original song, and then there was the Einstein wrong sign or whatever. So let me put here, so we can add the audio output. And I think I can get that from the speakers. Yes. Okay. And I think I'll have to mute it, but I'm going to play. Yep, here we go. The Miracle Year. It is really cool. I'll just play a little bit of it. Here we go. See if I can do this. I am going to mute myself. All right, and see if this works.
Every day I see a bright blue morning, the sun shining as the world wakes again. Hey, mister, can you tell me, does space bend? All around you is the sound of laughter. Joyous people celebrate a life so grand. Hey, mister, read that fairy tale again. Ooh, I've seen it, though you won't believe it. It's a miracle year in which we're living. Come on outside, it's a beautiful day. A gentle breeze blows across the ocean, sending waves that crash upon the sand. Hey, mister, did you watch Slow Down again? There is time for you to smell the flowers, even though the thorns get in the way. Hey, mister, what's your theory for today? Ooh, I've seen it, though you won't believe it. It's a miracle year in which we're living. Come on outside, it's a beautiful day.
Oh, come on outside, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. What you're about to see is out of this world. Step right up now, don't be shy, because we're about to show you how cars can fly.
Sorry, I get double feature back where I can't talk at the same time.
Here's a tale of a suburban housewife who dares to fight with the icon of his day, and she finds her own miracle on the way. I said, hey now, life's a joy. You gotta try your best and give your all, and when the facts don't fit the theory, change the facts again.
I'll tell you, it is a beautiful day. I'll tell you a little bit about that soundtrack. I asked him, Michael Ruggieri, said, look, you know, I want it to be an upbeat. And I said, I want a theme song for the movie. And I gave him all the sort of input I could. Again, I wanted it light. I wanted it to be sort of funky, because, you know, it is about science that's a little funky, and the whole soundtrack to the movie is that way. It's a little bit cranky, funky, that kind of thing. And then I was blown away by the lyrics, because I didn't give him the lyrics. I mean, you know, if the facts don't fit the theory, change the facts. That's a quote that they say Einstein said. They're trying to retract that one, but I think he did say that. And then also, hey, Mister, did your watch slow down again? Hey, Mr., what's your theory for today? And does space bend? I think he says in it. So it's quite good. And of course, we have that same thing is put together with the a video I made, which was a prior video to the movie where I was testing the camera. But it's pretty nice, and you can see all the mad scientists, happy walk, rocking chair. We have Brazilian, because part of the movie is filmed in Brazil. But it's definitely catchy. But that's one of the #1 things I get from people is, hey, you know, Dave, I really enjoyed the movie, but man, that soundtrack is really cool. So anyways, let's see, go down further. I do have some more comments here. Great film, I love the soundtrack. I rehashed the movie. Yeah. Search Infinity is Divinity Infinity Inc. Stephen Hawking. I found it. Do you have the instrumental version? Oh yeah, I think I do. Yeah, a karaoke version of it. Yeah, I do have that. So yes, I'll put it in there. Yes, I do have the karaoke version, because it actually did it go there? Yeah. If I go back to here, this was our opening night since we never got onto we had our own screening. It was the first screening of it, actually. And this was Michael Ruggieri and his daughter, his stepdaughter, Kayla, singing, and I made a version of it, and they sang. We ran the same music video, but we had a version of the music video without the vocals, and they sang it live in front of everybody. I think, let's see, photos, let's go to that. World premiere, is that it? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, they were singing, but they were up in front too with us. You can see there's Michael there. There's my mom, my dad, myself, Ron Hatch. When we had the premiere of it, he was there. It was really great to have them all there, and we were just talking about their experiences. Really great. There's my daughter at the time, and there it is. The marquee, it says Dallas Buyers Club and Einstein Wrong, 9 p.m. It was a great time. So, yeah, I can get that to you. That'd be cool. All right. We still have 9 people watching. You guys have any questions? Let me know. If not, I think we're going to come up to an hour and a half is usually when I'll cut it off. Again, tomorrow I'll be talking to the CMPS. I encourage you, if you want to help out in any way, even if it's only an hour or 2 a month, it would certainly be able to help out. Take a look tomorrow if you can't come to the CMPS. Live tomorrow, we use Fuse. Right now we use Fuse, so you have to sort of click on it. But let me show you where that is. Actually, you can go live to it, but I'll show you the web page, naturalphilosophy.org. Get to that, and where that's going to be. So if I show you that there, and there it is, our front home page. This is our website for our members, so it's not really for marketing purposes, although there are things there. There's all our YouTube channels. Two of those aren't active really, or they're for the future. But there's the meeting. If you click on it, we have a database I made in WordPress in our database. And if you go down here, you're going to see all the times where it's at. You can go to meet.naturalphilosophy.org. If you do go there, you'll be able to download it. You can watch it on a phone live. You can participate on a tablet, on your computer. But you do need to download something. But of course, that all happens pretty quickly, so you can get in there, and there'll be maybe 20, 30, 40 people, depending on how many we attract for that time. But they're going to be mostly members from the CMPS and anybody else. So you can come by and take a look at that and see us there. And I will have a really good set of slides talking about the future of it. And a lot of what I'm going to be talking about has a lot to do with what I've been doing on YouTube, and that is getting our websites together, explaining which websites we have. We have committees for those websites, and those websites we're going to be working on for the next year. And our next conference, we're going to tell you tomorrow where our next conference was going to be and when. So stay tuned for that. Okay. All right. Have you checked out Rick Rosner's informational cosmology? You probably asked me about that before, and I haven't had the time with my full-time job and all that stuff. And we've been preparing, and we just got done with our conference. So. Well, one of the things, too, is what we want to do, Adam, is a lot of times because, I can take a look at it. Was there any particular question, or you like his stuff, or was wondering about his stuff, Adam? You wondering about him, or you like his work? We'll see. If you like it, I can take a look at it. It's not pretty all the time when I do look at stuff, so I'm going to be pretty honest. I always try to look at good things on everybody's stuff. I have books from lots of people who I not necessarily subscribe to their... I've got lots of books back here. To their particular theory, and believe that necessarily it's the way the universe works. But the models themselves are quite good, a lot of them. And so I always find positive in everybody's work. So I don't know, maybe I can take a look. If you can look at it real quick. Let's see. Informational cosmology. Okay, there's a book. It's only $5 on Kindle, huh? Introduction to Informational Cosmology. Let's take a look here. Basic ideas incorporated in the informational cosmology represented in an extended interview format with Rick G. Rosner interview. Rosner has written Remote Control, Crank Anchors, The Man Show. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, so he's got some... Yeah, I know. I've heard of this guy. I didn't know he was writing stuff like this. Presents him panel. Study everything as morality. Yeah, that sounds interesting. Not real familiar with it, but could take a look. Okay, yeah. Yeah, actually, Adam, it's pretty interesting that you have often people who have money who will go off and be sort of dissident. Sometimes they're UFO kind of people, or I can't remember, but there was a couple of people that were sort of looking at different ideas. None of them have come our way, meaning to be critical thinkers in science in the way I would say. Most of them will sort of latch onto one thing and sort of, they suffer from the problem of being isolated. They think by themselves and they come up with an interesting system of something. I'm not saying this guy is that way at all. I'm totally off subject. I'm not saying this guy is this way at all. I'm just saying in general, if you get people who have a name that sort of try to get into the dissonant world or whatever, oftentimes that's what I find. And then if you try to approach them, then they go, oh no, there's going to be 1,000 crackpots coming my way. Unfortunately, we've had, over the last some 20 years, there's been a couple of people who may have been interested in doing some things. We've had some approaches to people who have some money, but it hasn't worked out. It would be super if we could find a philanthropic person with some real deep pockets that would throw money our way, you know, maybe even a couple million, that would allow myself, for instance, to not have to work at a full-time job and really work on stuff and have the resources to do things and get things done. It would be absolutely fantastic. I mean, it would be great. You know, Patreon, you know, if we can get to the point where we have, it's a chicken and egg problem, right? We've got to get enough people here to do stuff. I mean, we have to get enough stuff that people will want to stick when they land in come our direction. But then if we don't have enough people, we don't have enough time and people and money to do the stuff we need to have people stick. So it's a bootstrapping process, is the way I guess I would say. So, more questions, if any. How many people are watching this right now? I just want to check. 7 watching still. Okay. Well, any more questions at all? No. It's 11:05, so hour and a half. Anyways, I showed lots of great things, so if you've missed some things, I've shown you the website and all that. The Science Woke a little bit. Inklings of what it's going to be. It's not what it is. Oh, I'm getting tired too. I thank all of you guys' support. Really greatly appreciate it. I'm going to continue this if I do get a lot of views. I mean, a lot of minutes. These longer ones actually get a lot more viewed than the other ones, I think, because people, the stories I get to tell. I've got a lot of stories, and I think that's one of the reasons I started this whole website, this whole YouTube channel in the first place, because I'd sit at lunch and, Lisa, who had to leave because she's tired, she says you can listen to it all day. Well, the reason you're listening to it, I think, is because I've been around critical thinkers for so long, and we've answered questions. We've been through these. We can answer questions. We can tell you we don't know. We can tell you the mainstream is wrong because of this. We can even give you answers to questions like, do you want to communicate to Mars in 1/4 of a second? Maybe you want to take a look at my dad's and my model. We have actually the reason why we think c² exists, where it comes from, and how it could translate into c² speeds of communication. We're not sure how to do it. Well, we have a model, but that would be for somebody else to try to figure out. But those are the kind of things that are interesting, So, alrighty. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, all of you who are watching, because I know we're dropping off now. We've got, 5 people watching. So, good night. And as I always say, I'm Dave D. Hilster. Stay critical, stay thinking. And then I say I'm Dave D. Hilster again. I always get that wrong. I'm your science therapist, but I appreciate everybody's support. Ciao for now.